Okay, I think it's working. Got all my favorite things in front of me, and here we are. We'll just have a little talk about how the longboard scene is going. I noticed some podcasts have started up recently. It's always a good thing. Conversation is important. Helps anything grow. But the conversation shouldn't just be lip service. It should be should have a substance to it that helps people get outside themselves and use their mind. I noticed last night, or a couple nights ago, motion board shop got broken into. Maybe some tweakers in Seattle. Nothing better to do than steal longboards. But they had included in the post, keep an eye out on Craigslist and Facebook for any sale ads. Try to get their stuff back. But also, keep in mind, when you vote for people, that ask them how they feel about police patrols and security forces and things of that nature. Because if everything's being defunded, like in Seattle, then it leaves less services available when you need it if your business is broken into. Which I'm sure Motion Board Shop has some form of insurance, but deductibles are expensive. And your time is the most expensive thing of all. You just don't have an infinite supply of that, no matter how much money you have. And nobody likes dealing with cleaning up broken glass. You cut yourself with that. But yeah, I mean, it's a real loser for the community that we don't have more social services available. And now they're cutting the security forces, which, I mean, if you're a person who has, walls around your house and private security, it's not a big deal for you. But if you're a person who doesn't have those things and you need security forces, then they also fall under the umbrella of social services. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about podcasts. So Motion Board Shop had a podcast, in addition to being broken into, which is good because they'll have another revenue stream coming in. It's always good to get that YouTube check. I didn't have a chance to listen to theirs yet. I did have a chance to listen to some of the Get That Skate, GETSKA, number 8, coming out of Australia, some Get That Skate podcast, and they've had about, probably more than a dozen at this point. And they're full speed ahead. They're doing well. They have a lot of people on there who you would want to hear from, like Patrick Lombardi, who got injured and was just really skating at I guess you would say the peak of downhill longboarding. He was one of those people that could just put it sideways and just effortlessly. Very good center of gravity. Very good balance. But he got hurt. He's back now. He's actually down in Australia. He moved down there, and he had some cool stories, including a crazy story about how they do a work visa program where if you want to go to Australia and get a visa, you have to work for them. And he was picking fruit or something, like berries maybe. Sounded pretty wild. But yeah, Get That Skate is doing the podcast, and they've had some other people on there. A lot of good times. And very professional production. Nothing like this. They have production value they've invested, which is good. And it's always cool to see people take that leap of faith and invest in something that, especially longboarding, it seems like it's dying out, but Jack has really plowed some resources into production value, and if anything, he's just enjoying it, which is nice. But definitely check that out. I'll try to put a link down in the comments or something when I eventually get this posted up. I'm sure everyone already knows about it because it's a pretty small community. What else have I seen? I've seen PAL's getting some product out the door again, it looks like. They had a factory move. And they're not doing a podcast. They actually didn't do much media at all. They kind of subcontract their media out to other people. Bit of a weird situation. But they're getting some product out. They have white snakes and green snakes on the website, 66mm. I haven't seen them in the shops. I've seen some of the shops got some of the other wheels before PAL got them. But PAL has been talking about providing for the shops and giving them the opportunity to buy stuff up, but then when I go there I see they have blemished purple wheels for a couple dollars cheaper, and I think I've seen some snakes hit their website first, so I don't know if that's for coding purposes for other shops, or they just the social media manager Kevin does not work hand in hand with the computer person. I'm not sure how that goes when they upload stuff to their website. But if you haven't ridden snakes, and I'm not getting paid to say this at all, you definitely want to try them out because they will help out your skating. They slide pretty smoothly over a wide variety of pavement surfaces, and they don't wear down, they don't disintegrate, which is nice because wheels are expensive. You don't be wasting your money on something you don't have to. The other thing I've noticed at PAL is their team is very loose. Not many of the guys from the old team migrated to the new one, and they seem to have guys who kind of drift in and out of there, do some stuff with linked media, and then it migrates over to PAL, but I'm not sure what their budget is for media. It doesn't seem like... Does PAL need a media budget? I don't know if they need one even. But, that's interesting over at PAL. Let's say Caliber and Blood Orange and Liam, he has a large media budget. His tax write-off is all media probably, which is smart from a business standpoint. It's also smart because it gets exposure. I don't know why he goes to Hawaii to skate where it's illegal, though. He should go somewhere it's legal. Find some dope runs that, you don't have the locals in the comments going off. You should always go somewhere where the locals, respect that you're coming there, instead of you going up there and making their scene all hot and then they yell at you in the comments. That doesn't look that great. But I don't think Liam cares about that very much. He probably just likes Hawaii because it's Hawaii, like the rest of us like it. But yeah, he went down there with Cole. They took a nice little trip. And I think that was when Cole first got on there. That's probably how he enticed him. Hey, I'll take you to Hawaii, we'll drink. On some sugar daddy shit. But yeah, that's good. I'm cursing. YouTube, sorry. But he went to Hawaii, Cole, and he didn't use a foot stop. He wasn't using a foot stop for the first month he was on Prism, and then it looks like he found his old foot stop. My Riptide sent him a check with a foot stop attached and said, hey, before you cash this check, attach this foot stop to the board. Get your roll right. But Cole is interesting to watch on the skateboard. He has a good style where he's able to kick it out for a little slide if he needs to when he's in a turn leaning over. A lot of people can't do that. But it's fun to watch him and Liam. Liam's probably, I don't know, he's probably 5 or 6 years older than him at least. Probably older than that, actually. And Liam can just skate with him. It's cool. Because not many people can skate with Liam. A lot of people, they leave the industry because they get good jobs elsewhere. Or the industry just doesn't pay and they get bent out of shape because they're making the industry money. But a lot of people have just left. And you don't get to enjoy their skating anymore on video. People like, I don't know, just everybody. Think about it. Nobody's in the industry anymore. People in the industry, actually, it seems like they floated back, like they were in some sort of eddy whirlpool, and they whipped back around. They started a new Gravity Games Association, I think is what it's called. But it's under the IDF's Instagram, so they stole all their followers and changed the name, but they don't want to change the Instagram handle, I don't think. I don't know. If you go to the IDF page, the actual website, it says this site is not available because they stopped paying their bills, which it's always cool when they rebrand and they stop paying their bills on servers, and then there's just a whole void and you have no idea what's going on anymore. Full disclosure, I'm not a member of that organization. I have not paid $30 for their exquisite timing system, which did work out some of the time for them, I think. Not sure. But, we'll see how that goes. I read some comments that they were trying to become a free ride organization. Somebody wrote, I'm not sure I'd pay money to be in an organization if it's just gonna let me attend free rides, which, free rides basically you're at a hill. Like, you could go to a free ride anywhere by yourself, no dangers. You really need bails? Like, the point of the free ride is the bails, or it's the community? I don't know, whatever it is. I'm not sure I'd pay to be in an organization to do that. They used to have a cool bike ride in Seattle. They would shut down the SR-99, Elevated Viaduct Highway of Kings. 3 lanes elevated, no pedestrians, and you could ride your bike on it for one night. In the fall, they would do it. But it was $40, so I never did it because I didn't want to spend $40 to ride my bike on the highway. But it was put on by the cycling group. But the equivalent would have been if the cycling group said, pay to join the group and then pay extra to go to the viaduct bike ride, which, is cool and everything, but it's just it's a waste of money if you can just spend no money and go skate or ride your bike for free. I mean, that's how money really adds up when you save it like that. So, we'll see how the GGA does. I mean, I want them to do well. If you look at the scene in Europe, 10, 20 years ago, more like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, they had a lot of free rides, a lot of organizations, and they would get together on really good mountain roads, and they would all hang out. And I was looking at these organizations and countries, and the main difference I noticed is they don't have the legal liability that exists in the U.S. So if you get hurt over there at the free ride, they just take you to the hospital. You already have health care. Everyone has health care. The hospital has funding. Everything's worked out funding-wise. And you get patched up. I'm sure if the free ride sent 35 people to the hospital would get involved and say, hey, we don't appreciate you doing the free ride, etc. But here in the States, I mean, the biggest part of the free ride is, sign away your liability. But even then, you have to get insurance as an event organizer. It just drives the cost through the roof, where, $400 to go a free ride that doesn't have any food, where I camp out. You just take my car to Sonora Pass that got repaved and, camp out for nothing and have fun there, like everyone else is going to do this summer. Speaking of which, that pass got a lot of snow, so we'll see how the pavement is. Sometimes that new blacktop macadam really gets killed by just one winter, depending on salt and all that stuff. I don't think they put any salt on that up there. They probably just let it melt out, so that's good. But, y'all should go find new roads this summer. Better stuff out there. 410 in Washington by, 410. You can find a pass. That's a really good one. It's a little narrow, but if you're younger and you don't realize how long life is, then it's great for you. You get good footage. Runs along a ridgeline dropping down, so you could probably hit 60 pretty easily if you're in a tuck. But it's narrow. So there's that. Podcast almost at 15 minutes. I probably said but 1,000 times. So we'll sign off, upload this one, see what the feedback's like, probably listen to it and see what I think of it first. And maybe do some more of these if I could write some stuff down and then have a better flow. But I always had a lot to say about the industry. So yeah, maybe we'll do these. Anyway, skate safe. Be good. Be open and accepting of people and ideas. Because you're just hurting yourself if you're not. And always wave to cars. Because it's their road, it's not really ours.